and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is the Nanu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And it's been a while since I did one of these real anime talk videos, but I figured since I'm coming back and, you know, continue making them and everything, we're gonna step outside of the box with this one here. Instead of talking about an anime, we're going to be talking about a cartoon. I mean, it's animated, so I mean, it's still in the same vein. It's just not technically anime, but I figured with the Avengers commentary I put up a couple days ago, I figured I'd talk about this here because this is one of my favorite cartoons, at least back when it was playing on TV, and that's going to be called Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers cartoon that came out. I want to say it was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. It was the Avengers cartoon that came out before they made the Avengers cartoon that kind of pseudo fits the movie verse. If you guys if you guys understand what I'm saying, because they came out. I think that one's just called the Avengers, where it's made just like off the movie, same continuity and everything. As far as that goes, but Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that was like the Avengers cartoon that they made when the MCU was first getting kicked off and it was becoming popular, but it wasn't at that high point yet. And it's where they tried to tailor in some movie stuff, but not really. They kind of went with the comic book stuff a little bit too. But it was good. It was damn good. Music was on point. Characters was on point. The art style is hit or miss depending on what you like out of a cartoon. But what I love about it is if the tone that they set, it fit. It was like I said, it was kind of like the movies, but they didn't jump you in and like, hell, here's episode 1, here's Tony Stark becoming Iron Man. No, they kind of already, if I remember right, they jumped you in and like the team was already a team, but they had broke up for like a few years, and then this was them getting back together to be the Avengers again. But the writing was good. Like I said, writing was good, music was good, animation is gonna be hit or miss, but the storylines was excellent. YouTube, I mean, they ran through the gambit of all, well, not all, but every major modern comic book storyline that the Avengers had, they've did in some kind of way. Like even a lot of those characters that you're seeing in the MCU now, like Captain Marvel, the Kree, and all of that stuff, they even did all of that stuff. Like you had a Captain Marvel episode, you had an episode where Ronan the Accuser came to Earth, where the Kree tried to take over Earth and they had to fight them. You did a Secret Invasion arc, that whole movie that they're gonna do in a couple years. They did it in cartoon form. They did Ultron. They did a few episodes with Doctor Doom. Thor was going off to the other 9 realms. Like they did everything that they do in the comic books in this cartoon, and it was done epically, to say the least. It was done so good that when they came out with the Avengers cartoon, I watched it, don't get me wrong, but even I look back at it like, that's good, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near as good as Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Earth's Mightiest Heroes was written for, I would assume, people of either my age group or let's say like late teens coming into adulthood. That's how it was written. Avengers is written, let's say, more for preteens and under, meaning like, do they still play the shitty Spider-Man cartoon? Because I think it was called just Spider-Man or something, but you had the Avengers come out, but like a year before that came out, you had a new kitty Spider-Man cartoon that came out. I don't think it's the new one, because I think they even got an even shittier one now. but I remember back when I was watching the other shitty one, it was like Spider-Man working with S.H.I.E.L.D. and he had like a flying motorcycle and all these other web gadgets and shit that had nothing to do with Spider-Man, but that was his show. And you had like a shitty version of Venom, a shitty version like Venom, Iron Fist, some other white cat lady who kind of looked like Black Panther but all white, and like every other modern day Spider-Man clone. They're like, oh, they're a part of it, they all go to high school together. Like you even had like Luke Cage and Iron Fist in high school with Spider-Man. That shit don't make sense. Because they're like 15-20 years older than him, but is what it is. That's why I didn't like that one as much. And I think even now they got like a shittier Spider-Man cartoon. But anyway, this was the one that takes place in that same universe. Like that Avengers cartoon, that was in the same universe as that Spider-Man one. So they had, they had a couple crossovers. But that one, like I said, it was written for like a kiddier audience. And I just didn't like that one. I mean, me being a mature adult, I mean, I'm like, what, 34? I'll be 35 this year. Watching that, it would damn near put me to sleep. And I'm a comic book fan who knows these characters. The Avengers wasn't that bad. I will say that. That wasn't that bad. Spider-Man was that bad. It's better than the newer Spider-Man cartoon that they got out now, which is even shittier and lazier. But it was that bad. I couldn't watch the Spider-Man one all the way through. Once they got to the episode with Deadpool, I was like, nope, I'm done. Because then they made Deadpool into a 15-year-old. But Earth's Mightiest Heroes was the shit. I mean, it didn't have Spider-Man in it because they didn't, cross over, do nothing like that. It was just about the Avengers and side characters from the comics for the most part. But they did like all the super villains. They did most of the heroes, like the major ones. I remember they even did a few episodes with Marvel's version of Superman. What's his name? Hyperion. When he tried to take over with the Squadron Supreme and everything. That was done good. I mean, hell, this movie Infinity War, guess what? They did it also in that cartoon. The movie that's about to come out, yeah, they did the same exact thing. Thanos came with the Infinity Gauntlet, wrecked their shit. They had to stop him. Granted, they didn't have the Black Order, but everything they did in that cartoon was done like the shit. I can't praise it enough. I wanted them to continue that and go forward, but I think Marvel, they canceled it only because they was like, they want since the movies were coming about, because I think this was around like Iron Man, I want to say like Iron Man 3 coming in and the movies after that. They wanted to make like, okay, we want a movie cartoon. They want everything to be centered around the movies. And that's why they canceled that and then brought out Avengers, which, like I said, it wasn't bad, but it was just nowhere near as good. The art style was better, but everything else was lackluster. So if you guys have a chance, I'm trying to go into it without spoiling anything, but like I said, they run the gamut. They had like 4 or 5 seasons. Go check it out. If you're a fan of the Avengers or of like characters in particular, check out Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Don't watch the Avengers. I guess you can if you want, but if you want to watch something better, watch Earth's Mightiest Heroes and just watch it all the way through. The storylines are good. They have a lot of episodes that kind of lead into the main plot of the season. Like there's something that happens with Captain America. And I don't want to spoil that, but they start that in, let's say, like 2 seasons earlier, and then like in that 3rd season, that's when that kicks off, and it pays off in the end and things like that. So they do a lot of ongoing plot lines. It's not just like the Avengers and Spider-Man always felt like episode of the week type shows, and this doesn't remind me of that. This reminds me of how I guess if I can placate it back to anything, this reminds me of how the X-Men cartoon was and how like Batman the Animated Series was. Whereas with those, you have episode of the week stuff, but there's also an ongoing plots throughout the season that they touch on here and there that pay off in like a season finale or maybe like a 2-part episode, things like that. So Earth's Mightiest Heroes was like that. And plus they even did some stuff that was original too. Like I remember Red Skull got like Iron Man's armor in like one episode or like a few episodes. As a matter of fact, I think he takes that armor for like the whole season. I forget how he does it, but he eventually gets it. So the whole time you seeing him decked out with like Iron Man's armor, but with like the little Red Skull image on the chest instead of the normal arc reactor. So they do a lot of ongoing stuff, and they even throw some original stuff in there too. So it's a great cartoon. Check it out. It's up there. It's probably in my top 5 of cartoons, and I have a lot of favorite cartoons. YouTube, definitely up there as far as comic book stuff. Now, if I have to say cartoons in general, meaning like comic book stuff, and outside of that, I don't know where it will place. Definitely in the top 20. But anyways, that's just been my thoughts on the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. If you guys used to watch it back in the day, or or if you want to, check it out, I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere. They probably got DVDs, because like I said, it's been out and they canceled it, so they probably got all of it out there. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube somewhere, because I know people upload episodes and stuff like that. So if you guys want to talk about it, let me know down in the comments below. My name is the Nanu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.